First contact and cultural exchange. The vast expanse of space had never felt so small to Commander Elena Reeves as she stood on the bridge of the Earth's first interstellar vessel, the ESS Horizon. The ship's sleek design and advanced propulsion system had carried them farther than any human had ever ventured before. Yet, as they approached the outer reaches of the Proxima Centauri system, Elena felt a mix of excitement and trepidation coursing through her veins. "Commander," Lieutenant Jean called out, his voice tinged with awe, "we're picking up an anomalous reading. It's like nothing we've ever seen before." Elena strode over to Zhang's station, her eyes scanning the holographic display. The readings were indeed extraordinary. A massive structure orbiting Proxima Centauri, the potentially habitable exoplanet they had come to explore. "Is it artificial?" Elena asked, though she already suspected the answer. Zhang nodded, his eyes wide. "Without a doubt, Commander. We're looking at an alien megastructure." The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had long debated the existence of extraterrestrial life, but now indisputable proof hung before them in the inky blackness of space. "Open a channel," Elena commanded, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "Let's make history." As the communications officer worked to establish contact, Elena couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought them here. The development of the Alcubierre warp drive had been a game-changer, allowing humanity to finally break free from the confines of their solar system. The ESS Horizon, with its crew of 250 of Earth's brightest minds, had been tasked with making first contact should they encounter any signs of intelligent life. Now, that hypothetical scenario had become a stunning reality. "Channel open, Commander," the communications officer reported. Elena took a deep breath, centering herself before speaking. "This is Commander Elena Reeves of the Earth spaceship Horizon. We come in peace, seeking friendship and knowledge. To those who built this magnificent structure, we extend greetings from humanity." Seconds ticked by, feeling like an eternity as the crew waited for a response. Then suddenly, the main view screen flickered to life, revealing a sight that would forever change the course of human history. The alien that appeared on screen was unlike anything they had imagined. Its body seemed to shimmer with an iridescent quality, its form fluid and ever-changing. Multiple appendages weaved intricate patterns in the air, and what appeared to be eyes, dozens of them, blinked in synchronization. "Greetings, humans of Earth," the alien spoke, its voice a melodious hum that seemed to resonate within their very beings. "I am Sixlith, custodian of the Proxima Centauri Nexus. Your arrival has long been anticipated." Elena's mind raced with questions, but she maintained her composure. "Sixlith, we are honored to make your acquaintance. You say our arrival was anticipated." The alien's form rippled, a gesture that Elena interpreted as amusement. "Indeed, Commander Reeves. We have been observing your species for quite some time. Your journey to the stars has been most impressive." As the initial shock wore off, Elena and her crew engaged in a dialogue that would span hours, days, and eventually weeks. They learned that the structure they had encountered was a vast transportation hub, connecting various alien civilizations across the galaxy. The Proxima Centauri Nexus, as it was called, served as a melting pot of cultures, technologies, and ideas. Sixlith and their kind, known as the Luminari, had been tasked with maintaining the Nexus and facilitating interactions between species. They were an ancient race, having achieved interstellar travel millennia before humans had even developed written language. As the ESS Horizon docked with the Nexus, Elena and a select team were invited aboard to experience the wonders of this interstellar crossroads firsthand. The interior of the structure defied human understanding. Spaces that seemed to fold in on themselves, gravity that shifted at will, and technology so advanced it bordered on magic. "Your arrival marks a significant milestone," Sixlith explained as they guided the human delegation through the Nexus. "Humanity has proven itself ready to join the galactic community." Elena's scientific curiosity was piqued. How did you determine we were ready? Zixlith's form shimmered thoughtfully. We have certain criteria that a species must meet before we initiate contact. Technological advancement is one factor, but more importantly, we look for signs of ethical and social progress. Your species' recent efforts towards global cooperation, environmental restoration, and the pursuit of knowledge for its own sake, these are the qualities that caught our attention. As they continued their tour, Elena and her team were introduced to representatives from other alien species. The diversity was staggering, beings of all shapes, sizes, and compositions. Some were vaguely humanoid, while others were so alien that the human mind struggled to comprehend their form. One particular encounter stood out. A tall, willowy being with skin like polished obsidian approached them, its movements graceful and deliberate. "I am Narezin of the Silvani," it introduced itself, its voice a whisper that somehow carried clearly. "We have been eagerly awaiting your arrival." Elena was intrigued. "You knew of us as well." Narezin's features shifted into what might have been a smile. "Oh yes, your music has reached us, carried on the cosmic winds. It is most intriguing." The revelation that human art and culture had somehow transcended the vast distances of space was both humbling and exhilarating. As the days passed, the crew of the ESS Horizon found themselves immersed in a crash course on galactic civilization. They learned of the Galactic Council, a governing body composed of representatives from various spacefaring races. They were introduced to technologies beyond their wildest dreams: instantaneous communication devices, energy sources that could power entire planets, and medical advancements that could cure almost any ailment. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Cultural misunderstandings were frequent, and the humans often found themselves overwhelmed by the sheer scale of what they were experiencing. Elena had to mediate several tense situations, including a near-diplomatic incident when one of her crew members accidentally insulted a Drachnid ambassador by complimenting its exoskeleton. As the first phase of their mission drew to a close, Elena found herself in a private meeting with Zixlith. The luminary's form seemed more solid than usual, a sign Elena had come to associate with seriousness. "Commander Rees," Zixlith began, "your species stands at a crossroads. The knowledge and opportunities we offer come with great responsibility. How humanity chooses to proceed will shape not only your future, but potentially that of the entire galaxy." Elena nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. "We understand, Zixlith. Humanity has made many mistakes in its past, but we've learned from them. We're ready to take our place among the stars, to contribute and to learn." Zixlith's form rippled with approval. "Then let us begin the next phase of our exchange. We have much to teach you, but I suspect we have much to learn from humanity as well. Your species' adaptability, creativity, and resilience are qualities that will serve you well in the greater galactic community." As Elena prepared to return to the ESS Horizon and relay everything she had learned to Earth, she couldn't help but feel a sense of overwhelming optimism. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and while the path ahead was uncertain, it was filled with infinite possibilities. The stars, once so distant and unreachable, now beckoned with the promise of new frontiers, new alliances, and a future brighter than they could have ever imagined. As Commander Elena Rees gazed out at the glittering expanse of the Proxima Centauri nexus, she knew that this was only the beginning of humanity's greatest adventure, the unlikely alliance. The glittering spires of New Terra City stretched towards the crimson sky of Mars, a testament to humanity's resilience and ingenuity. Commander Elena Rees stood at the viewport of the Interplanetary Council chambers, her eyes tracing the intricate network of biodomes and terraforming installations that now dotted the Martian landscape. It had been 5 years since first contact at the Proxima Centauri nexus, and the solar system had transformed in ways few could have imagined. "Quite a view, isn't it?" A familiar, melodious voice hummed behind her. Elena turned to see Zixlith, the luminary ambassador, their iridescent form shimmering in the ruddy Martian light. "It never gets old," Elena smiled, her mind drifting to the day's upcoming negotiations. I just hope we can convince the Drachnid delegation that our terraforming methods are sound. Their support could fast-track our plans for Venus. Zixlith's form rippled with what Elena had come to recognize as amusement. The Drachnids are particular about their environments, but I have faith in your species' legendary powers of persuasion. Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion at the chamber's entrance. A group of protesters had managed to breach security, their angry shouts echoing through the hallways. No more alien influence. Earth for humans, they chanted, waving holographic signs that flickered with anti-Sano slogans. Elena sighed, her expression hardening. Despite the incredible advancements and opportunities that had come with joining the galactic community, there were still those who feared change and the unknown. The Terran Purity movement had gained traction in recent years, capitalizing on fears of cultural erosion and alien manipulation. As security drones moved to contain the situation, a piercing alarm cut through the chaos. Emergency holograms flickered to life throughout the chamber, displaying a sight that made Elena's blood run cold. A massive, pitch-black vessel had appeared in orbit around Mars, its design unlike anything in the known galactic database. As they watched in stunned silence, smaller craft began to deploy from the ship, descending rapidly towards the Martian surface. By the cosmic winds, Zixlith whispered, their usual composure shaken. It's the Void Heralds. They've returned. Elena's mind raced. The Void Heralds were spoken of in hushed tones, a mysterious and ancient force that appeared without warning, bringing destruction and chaos in their wake. Many species considered them nothing more than a myth, a boogeyman story to frighten young ones. But the fear in Zixlith's voice made it clear. This was all too real. We need to evacuate, Elena began, but her words were cut short as the building shook violently. The viewport cracked, spider-web fissures spreading across its surface as the atmosphere outside began to swirl ominously. In that moment, as panic threatened to overtake her, Elena felt a surge of that uniquely human quality, defiance in the face of overwhelming odds. She turned to Zixlith, her eyes blazing with determination. No, we stand and fight. This is our home now, and we won't let anyone take it from us. Zixlith's form solidified, matching Elena's resolve. You continue to surprise me, Commander. Very well. Let us show these Void Heralds a folly of underestimating our alliance. What followed was a scene of controlled chaos as Elena coordinated with both human and alien forces. The protesters who moments ago had been calling for isolation now stood shoulder to tentacle with the very beings they had feared, united against a common threat. Elena's comlink crackled to life, the gruff voice of Admiral Zhang, her former lieutenant, coming through. Commander, we've got the Sol Defense Fleet mobilized, but we're outgunned. These Void Herald ships, they're like nothing we've ever seen. Hold the line, Admiral, Elena replied, her mind working overtime. I've got an idea, but it's going to sound crazy. As the first Void Herald dropships breached the Martian atmosphere, Elena put her plan into action. It was a strategy that combined human ingenuity with alien technology in a way never before attempted. Using the Luminaries' quantum entanglement communicators, Elena coordinated a simultaneous attack across multiple fronts. Human fighters, enhanced with Sylvani cloaking technology, launched a surprise assault on the Void Herald flagship. Meanwhile, Drachnid energy weapons, powered by experimental human fusion reactors, created a defensive barrier around key Martian installations. But the true game-changer came in the form of a hastily assembled device, a hybrid of human AI and Luminary psychic amplification technology. As the Void Heralds pressed their attack, Elena activated the device, sending out a pulse of pure empathic energy. The effect was immediate and staggering. The Void Herald forces faltered, their coordinated assault dissolving into confusion. For the first time in recorded history, the enigmatic invaders experienced something they had never encountered before, emotion. Waves of fear, hope, anger, and joy washed over the battlefield, affecting friend and foe alike. But where the Ally forces had been prepared, trained to channel these emotions, the Void Heralds were overwhelmed. Helena watched in awe as the massive Void Herald ships began to retreat, their once impenetrable defenses crumbling under the onslaught of feeling. As the last of the invaders disappeared into the depths of space, a cheer went up from the assembled forces, a cacophony of human voices and alien sounds united in victory. In the aftermath, as the dust settled on the Martian landscape, Elena found herself once again standing with Zixlith, surveying the scene of their unlikely triumph. "I must admit, Commander," Zixlith hummed, their forms shimmering with what Elena now recognized as respect. "When you spoke of fighting, I did not expect this." Elena smiled, the weight of their achievements settling on her shoulders. Sometimes, the greatest weapon isn't a gun or a ship or even advanced technology. It's understanding of ourselves, of each other, of the very things that make us who we are. As cleanup efforts began and the Interplanetary Council reconvened to discuss this new threat, Elena couldn't help but feel a sense of hope. The Void Heralds had been repelled, yes, but more than that, a new kind of unity had been forged in the crucible of battle. Humans, who just hours ago had been protesting alien influence, now worked side by side with beings from across the galaxy. The barriers of fear and mistrust had been shattered, replaced by a shared sense of purpose and the realization that their differences were not weaknesses, but strengths. As the Martian sun set on this historic day, casting long shadows across the battle-scarred landscape, Elena knew that this was more than just a victory against an ancient enemy. It was the dawn of a new era, one where humanity's place among the stars was not just accepted, but celebrated. The unlikely alliance, forged in the heat of battle, would be the foundation for a new galactic order, one that could face any threat, overcome any obstacle. And at its heart would be the unique blend of human spirit and alien wisdom that had turned the tide against the Void Heralds. As Elena prepared to address the assembled forces, she felt a surge of pride and determination. The road ahead would be challenging, but with their new allies by their side, humanity was ready to face whatever the universe had in store. The stars had once seemed cold and distant. Now, they shone with the promise of adventure, discovery, and a future limited only by the bounds of their collective imagination. The quantum nexus anomaly. The holographic display in the center of the Galactic Council chamber pulsed with an eerie, otherworldly light. Commander Elena Rees leaned forward, her brow furrowed as she studied the swirling vortex of data before her. It had been 2 years since the Void Herald invasion, and the galaxy had enjoyed a tentative peace. But now a new threat loomed, one that defied explanation. The quantum nexus anomaly, intoned Zixlith, that iridescent form seeming to merge with a hologram. A phenomenon unlike anything we've encountered in our millennia of space exploration. Elena nodded, her mind racing. The quantum nexus anomaly had appeared suddenly, a massive distortion in space-time that was slowly expanding, consuming entire star systems in its wake. Conventional weapons and shields were useless against it, and even the most advanced alien technologies seemed primitive in the face of this cosmic threat. "We've lost contact with the Drachnid colony in the Andromeda Arm," reported Admiral Zhang, his holographic avatar flickering with static. "The anomaly is accelerating. At this rate, it'll reach Earth in less than a month." A murmur of concern rippled through the assembled delegates. Representatives from a dozen alien races shifted uneasily, their various appendages and sensory organs conveying a universal sense of dread. Elena stood, her voice cutting through the tension. "We need to think outside the box. Conventional methods won't work here. We need to fight quantum with quantum." She turned to an unlikely ally, Dr. Xerax, a Sylvani theoretical physicist whose radical ideas had often been dismissed as too dangerous to pursue. "Dr. Xerax, your research into quantum entanglement across dimensional barriers, could it be applied here?" The willowy alien's obsidian skin shimmered with excitement. "It's possible, Commander. But the energy requirements would be astronomical. We need to harness the power of a dying star. Then that's exactly what we'll do, Elena declared, her eyes blazing with determination. We'll create a Dyson swarm around a supergiant on the verge of collapse. It's risky, but it's our best shot. What followed was a flurry of activity unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. The next few weeks saw a massive mobilization of resources and personnel from every corner of known space. Humans worked alongside aliens, their diverse skills and technologies combining in ways never before imagined. The chosen star, Betelgeuse, pulsed an angry red as the combined fleet approached. Millions of automated constructors swarmed around the dying giant, assembling a vast network of energy collectors. At the heart of this incredible feat of engineering sat the quantum core, a device that merged human AI with alien psychic amplification technology and adopted Exarax's revolutionary quantum theories. As the anomaly drew ever closer, Elena found herself aboard the command ship, the ESS Horizon E, coordinating the most ambitious scientific endeavor in human history. The viewport was filled with the awe-inspiring sight of the Dyson swarm, its countless components glittering like a stellar halo around Betelgeuse. Energy levels are approaching critical, reported Lieutenant Kira Chen, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls. The star's core is becoming unstable. We need to act now, Commander. Elena took a deep breath, feeling the weight of countless lives resting on her next command. Initiate the quantum resonance cascade. Let's hope this works. As the words left her lips, Betelgeuse seemed to shudder. The Dyson swarm glowed with an intensity that rivaled the star itself, channeling unfathomable amounts of energy into the quantum core. A beam of pure, distilled spacetime erupted from the construct, lancing out to meet the approaching anomaly. The collision of quantum forces was unlike anything Elena had ever witnessed. Reality itself seemed to warp and bend, the very fabric of the universe straining under the titanic energies being unleashed. For a moment that stretched into eternity, it seemed as if all of creation held its breath. Then, with a silent explosion that nonetheless shook Elena to her very core, the anomaly shattered. But as the crew of the Horizon IA began to celebrate, they realized that something was very wrong. Where the anomaly had been, a new phenomenon was taking shape. A kaleidoscopic tunnel of light and energy stretched out before them, its depths shimmering with images of strange, alien worlds and incomprehensible geometries. By the cosmic winds, whispered Zixlith, their form fluctuating wildly. We've done more than destroy the anomaly. We've torn a hole in the multiverse itself. As the implications of their actions sank in, Elena realized that they had not ended the crisis. They had only opened the door to something far greater. The quantum tunnel before them was a gateway to parallel universes, each with its own laws of physics, its own forms of life, its own versions of history. We need to stabilize it, Elena commanded, her mind already racing with the possibilities and dangers this discovery presented. If we don't, the dimensional bleed could be catastrophic. What followed was a desperate race against time as the combined forces of the galaxy worked to contain the multiversal rift. Human ingenuity merged with alien wisdom in ways never before imagined. Psychic barriers were erected, powered by the minds of billions of linked consciousnesses. Quantum tethers, born from the fusion of a dozen different technologies, strained to hold reality together. As the crisis reached its peak, Elena made a decision that would change the course of history. With the approval of the Galactic Council, she led a small, elite team into the heart of the quantum tunnel. Their mission, to explore the multiverse and find a way to seal the rift from the other side. The journey through the quantum tunnel was a mind-bending experience. Elena and her team encountered versions of themselves from alternate timelines, witnessed the birth and death of universes, and came face to face with beings of pure energy and thought. In one reality, they found a version of Earth where the dinosaurs never went extinct. In another, they encountered a galactic federation of AI constructs, the last legacy of organic life long since past. Each universe held wonders and horrors beyond imagination, challenging everything they thought they knew about existence itself. Finally, in a universe of pure mathematics and abstract concepts, they found the key, a fundamental equation that could stabilize the multiverse and seal the rift. But implementing it would come at a great cost. Someone would have to stay behind, becoming a living anchor point for the multiversal barriers. Elena volunteered without hesitation. As she prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice, she turned to her team, a mix of humans and aliens who had become closer than family through their shared ordeal. "Tell them back home," she said, her voice steady despite the emotions threatening to overwhelm her. "Tell them that the universe is bigger and more wonderful than we ever imagined. And tell them that humanity's place in it is limited only by our courage to explore and our capacity to understand." As her team reluctantly returned through the quantum tunnel, Elena Rees stepped into the heart of the multiverse. Her consciousness expanded, becoming one with the very fabric of reality. In that moment, she was everything and nothing, everywhere and nowhere. Back in their home universe, the rift began to close. The quantum tunnel collapsed in on itself, leaving behind only a faint, shimmering distortion in space, a memorial to the woman who had given everything to save not just one universe, but all of them. As news of Elena's sacrifice spread throughout the galaxy, a new era of cooperation and understanding dawned. The barriers between species fell away, replaced by a shared sense of wonder at the infinite possibilities that lay before them. Humanity, once a newcomer to the galactic stage, now stood as a beacon of hope and innovation. The stars, once thought to be the final frontier, were now understood to be just the beginning. As the combined forces of the galaxy turned their gaze towards the infinite expanse of the multiverse, they did so with the spirit of Elena Rees guiding them, a spirit of curiosity, courage, and the unshakable belief that together there was no challenge they could not overcome. The consciousness revolution. The gleaming spires of New Alexandria stretched towards the Martian sky, a testament to humanity's resilience and ingenuity. Dr. Aria Chen, once a junior officer aboard the ESS Horizon Q, now stood at the forefront of the most ambitious project in human history. 10 years had passed since Commander Elena Rees sacrificed herself to save the multiverse, and her legacy lived on in ways no one could have predicted. Initiating consciousness upload, Aria announced, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. The vast chamber hummed with energy as rows upon rows of quantum processors came to life. Project Stardust, as it was known, aimed to do the impossible, to bridge the gap between organic life and pure energy, allowing humans and aliens alike to shed their physical forms and explore the cosmos as beings of pure consciousness. As the upload process began, Aria's mind raced back to the day that changed everything. It had been a year after Elena's sacrifice when the first signal came through, a pattern of quantum fluctuations that defied explanation. It took months of decoding, but the message was clear. Elena lived on, her consciousness spread across the multiverse, and she had discoveries to share. The holographic display flickered to life, showing a real-time visualization of the upload process. Aria watched in awe as the test subjects' neural patterns were translated into quantum data, their essence merging with the artificial substrate. Neural mapping at 50%, reported Dr. Xerax, the Silvani physicist whose theories had been instrumental in developing the technology. Consciousness coherence holding steady. As the upload neared completion, a familiar shimmer filled the air. Aria's heart raced as the ethereal form of Elena Rees materialized before them, her essence bridging the gap between universes. "It's working," Elena's voice echoed, filled with a mixture of joy and wonder. "I can feel a connection forming. You've done it, Aria." Tears welled up in Aria's eyes as she reached out, her hand passing through Elena's luminous form. "We couldn't have done it without you, Commander. Your discoveries, they've changed everything." Elena's form rippled with emotion. "This is just the beginning. There are wonders out there beyond imagination, entire realms of existence waiting to be explored. And now we have the means to do it." As the upload completed, the test subject's physical body went limp, but their consciousness blazed to life in the quantum network. For the first time in history, a being had successfully transferred their entire self into a state of pure energy and thought. The implications were staggering. No longer bound by physical limitations, these new energy beings could traverse vast distances instantly, explore hostile environments without fear, and even journey between universes. But with this incredible power came profound ethical questions. As news of the breakthrough spread, debates raged across the galaxy. Would those who chose to upload still be considered the same individuals? What rights would these energy beings have? And perhaps most importantly, how would this change the very nature of society itself? Arya found herself at the center of these discussions, advocating for responsible development of the technology. This isn't about leaving our humanity behind, she argued before the Galactic Council. It's about expanding what it means to be human, about embracing the full potential of consciousness itself. As the weeks passed, volunteers from various species began to undergo the upload process. Each successful transfer brought new insights, new perspectives on the nature of existence itself. The first major breakthrough came when a collective of uploaded consciousnesses managed to establish contact with a dimension of pure thought, a realm that had been theorized but never before confirmed. The beings they encountered were unlike anything in known space, abstract entities of pure concept and idea. Communication was challenging at first, but as both sides learned to bridge the gap between their modes of thought, an exchange of knowledge began that would reshape the galaxy's understanding of reality itself. Back on Mars, Arya worked tirelessly to refine the upload process to make it safer and more accessible. But as the project gained momentum, a new threat emerged. A faction of purists who saw the technology as an abomination, a rejection of the natural order. Attacks on research facilities increased, and there were even attempts to sabotage the quantum network that housed the uploaded consciousnesses. The galaxy teetered on the brink of a civil war unlike any before, a war between those who embraced a new definition of life and those who clung to the old ways. It was in this moment of crisis that Elena Rees, now a multiversal being of immense power and wisdom, made a decision that would once again change the course of history. Using her unique position as a bridge between realities, she called for a grand symposium, a meeting of minds that would bring together organic life, uploaded consciousnesses, and beings from across the multiverse. The event was a spectacle unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Vast holoprojections allowed organic beings to witness and participate in discussions that spanned dimensions. Ideas flowed freely, challenging preconceptions and opening minds to new possibilities. As the symposium reached its climax, Elena unveiled a vision of the future that took everyone's breath away. She proposed the creation of a cosmic web, a vast network of consciousness that would span not just their galaxy, but the entire multiverse. Imagine, her voice resonated across realities, a future where knowledge and experience can be shared instantly across infinite dimensions, where the collective wisdom of countless civilizations can be brought to bear on the greatest challenges we face. This is not the end of who we are, it's the beginning of who we can become. The proposal was met with a mixture of awe and trepidation. It was a step into the unknown, a fundamental shift in the very nature of existence. But as discussions progressed, a sense of hope and excitement began to build. Arya, watching from the control center on Mars, felt a surge of pride and determination. This was why she had dedicated her life to this work, not just to push the boundaries of science, but to expand the very definition of what it meant to be alive, to be conscious, to exist. As the symposium drew to a close, a consensus began to form. The cosmic web would be built, but slowly, carefully, with safeguards in place to protect individual autonomy and cultural diversity. It would be a tool for unity and understanding, not a force for homogenization. The road ahead would be challenging, filled with technological hurdles and ethical dilemmas yet unimagined. But for the first time, the beings of the galaxy, organic, energy, and everything in between, felt truly united in a common purpose. As Arya prepared to address the world, to share the outcomes of the symposium and the vision for the future, she couldn't help but smile. The universe had always been vast and full of wonders, but now, with the boundaries between mind and matter, between dimension and reality beginning to blur, it felt truly infinite. The consciousness revolution had begun, and with it, a new chapter in the story of life itself. As beings across the multiverse turned their collective gaze towards this brave new frontier, one thing was certain: the greatest adventure in history was just beginning. The Singularity Nexus. The cosmic web pulsed with the collective thoughts of trillions of consciousnesses, a shimmering network that spanned dimensions and realities. Dr. Arya Chen, now an energy being herself, navigated the streams of pure information with the ease of long practice. It had been 50 years since the consciousness revolution began, and the universe, no, the multiverse, had transformed in ways beyond imagination. But something was wrong. Arya could feel it in the quantum fluctuations that rippled through the web. A disturbance was growing, threatening the delicate balance of the multiversal network. Arya, we need you at the Singularity Nexus, the thought voice of Elena Rees echoed through the quantum ether. It's happening. In an instant, Arya's consciousness materialized in the heart of the cosmic web, a swirling vortex of pure energy and information known as the Singularity Nexus. Here, at the intersection of all realities, the brightest minds from across the multiverse gathered to face the greatest challenge of their existence. The Nexus itself was a sight beyond comprehension, a hyperdimensional construct that defied the laws of physics as they once understood them. Streams of consciousness flowed in impossible patterns, forming intricate mandalas of thought and emotion. Elena's essence, now a vast and ancient presence, enveloped the assembled beings. "The collapse has begun," she intoned, her thoughts tinged with urgency. "The multiverse is folding in on itself." Holographic displays materialized, showing the extent of the catastrophe. Entire universes were winking out of existence, their unique quantum signatures fading into nothingness. The very fabric of reality was unraveling at the seams. How is this possible? Arya projected, her thoughts racing. The cosmic web was supposed to stabilize the multiverse, not destroy it. Zixlith, the ancient luminary whose iridescent form now existed as pure energy, pulsed with concern. "It appears our success has become our undoing. The web has grown too vast, too interconnected. We've created a multiversal feedback loop that's tearing reality apart." As the assembled minds grappled with the enormity of the crisis, a new presence made itself known. A being of pure abstraction emerged from the depths of the Nexus, a representative of the concept entities from the dimension of pure thought. "Your cosmic web has breached the barriers between existence and non-existence," the entity communicated, its thoughts alien yet comprehensible. "The fundamental laws that govern reality itself are breaking down. Soon, all will return to the primordial void." Panic rippled through the assembled consciousnesses. Entire civilizations, species that had existed for millions of years, faced annihilation. The grand vision of a united multiverse was crumbling before their very eyes. But Arya refused to give up. Drawing on the collective knowledge of the cosmic web, she began to formulate a plan. "We need to think beyond conventional physics," she projected. "If the multiverse is collapsing, we need to go meta." Her idea was audacious: to create a new layer of reality, a metaverse that would exist above and beyond the collapsing multiverse. This new realm would be built on the purest forms of consciousness and information, transcending the limitations of physical laws. "It's never been attempted," Elena cautioned, her vast consciousness probing the possibilities. "We'd be rewriting the very nature of existence." "We have no choice," Arya insisted. "It's evolve or perish." As the collapse accelerated, the greatest minds in history worked feverishly to bring Arya's vision to life. They delved into the deepest quantum layers, unraveling the code of reality itself. The concept entities lent their abstract perspectives, providing insights that defied conventional logic. Time lost all meaning as they labored. Universes blinked out of existence around them, the cosmic web straining under the weight of countless fleeing consciousnesses. The singularity nexus became a last bastion of hope in a dying multiverse. Finally, after what could have been moments or millennia, a new framework began to take shape. A metaverse of pure thought and potential, unbounded by the constraints of physics or dimension. As the last remnants of the old multiverse faded away, Aria initiated the transfer. The sensation was unlike anything she had ever experienced. Her consciousness expanded, merging with the very essence of the new reality they had created. She was everywhere and nowhere, everywhen and neverwhen. In that moment, she understood the true nature of existence in a way no being ever had before. As the transfer completed, the assembled consciousnesses found themselves in a realm beyond imagination. Here, thought became reality instantly. Entire universes could be conjured with a mere idea. The collective knowledge and experiences of countless civilizations swirled around them, accessible to all. But with this godlike power came a heavy responsibility. They had become the architects of a new existence, custodians of all that was and all that could be. We must proceed with caution. Elena's thoughts resonated through the new metaverse. We have been given a second chance, an opportunity to learn from the mistakes of our past. Aria felt the weight of infinite possibilities pressing down upon her. We need to establish guidelines, ethical frameworks to govern this new reality. We must ensure that the power to shape existence is used wisely. As the inhabitants of the metaverse began to explore their new home, a sense of wonder and trepidation filled the collective consciousness. They had transcended the boundaries of reality itself, become something beyond mortal comprehension. But questions lingered. Had they truly saved existence, or merely postponed its inevitable end? What new challenges would arise in this realm of pure thought and infinite potential? And what of the countless beings and civilizations that had been lost in the collapse? Could they somehow be recovered, resurrected in this new metaverse? As Aria contemplated these questions, she felt a familiar presence beside her. Elena, her mentor and friend across multiple lifetimes and realities, joined her in silent contemplation. "We've come so far," Aria mused, her thoughts tinged with a mixture of pride and melancholy. From our first steps into space to becoming the architects of existence itself, what happens now? Elena's consciousness pulsed with warmth and wisdom. "Now, my dear Aria, we face our greatest adventure yet. We have the power to shape reality, to explore realms beyond imagination. But our greatest challenge will be to retain our humanity, our capacity for love, for wonder, for hope, in the face of our newfound godhood." As they gazed out into the infinite expanse of the metaverse, Aria felt a surge of determination. They had been given a clean slate, a chance to rewrite the story of existence itself. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, guided by the indomitable spirit that had carried them across the stars and beyond the boundaries of reality. The end of the old multiverse was not an ending at all, but a new beginning. And as the first stirrings of new life and new civilizations began to emerge in the metaverse, Aria knew that the greatest chapter in the story of consciousness was yet to be written. The adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning.